Hey everybody, Alex Kazora, SteelersDepot.com, back with some Pittsburgh Steelers recap and analysis. Not that there's really a whole lot to say that hasn't already been said after the Pittsburgh Steelers just get pummeled on the road, losing to the Buffalo Bills 38-3 Sunday. Pittsburgh dropping to 1-4 on the season. Let's talk about what led to such a miserable loss. Just one big old game of suck. I mean, it was terrible. Pittsburgh was beaten from the third offensive snap in the game. The best part of the game was the opening kickoff that Buffalo muffed and fumbled, and they're at their own 2-yard line. You're facing 3rd and 10, I believe it was, and you get hit with a 98-yard touchdown from Josh Allen to Gabriel Davis. And that's what makes the Bills the Bills. They're this potent offense. Allen has just an unbelievable arm and can uncork throws and change the course and tenor of a game in an instant, which is what he did repeatedly, picking apart a Steelers defense that coming into the game wasn't very good and got a whole lot worse in game with injuries to Larry Ogunjobi and Cam Sutton and Levi Wallace, leaving out Josh Jackson and James Pierre and Arthur Millette, Elijah Riley to play, the bulk half of that game, the latter half of that game. And so that's not to excuse anything. Whether or not Wallace got hurt, whether or not Sutton got hurt, this team was going to lose and lose badly. And they were just getting, rocked the entire game. No pass rush, 0 sacks on Josh Allen. Couldn't win on possession downs. Buffalo went 5-9 on 3rd down. Just getting hit with game-breaking plays, 98 yards to Gabe Davis, 62 yards to Gabe Davis. And that was against Minka Fitzpatrick, who had, good coverage, but couldn't finish the play. And really all that matters in the NFL is, did you finish the play or not? And even Minka could not on that example there. So just really no other way to say it. This team got beat by a better team. Their Bills are more talented, better coaching, and when you combine those two things, you get results like that. Offensively, Kenny Pickett's first start, he battled. I mean, he was competitive. He fought until the end. I don't think he played poorly. I think it was just okay given very difficult circumstances on the road against a great Buffalo team that you fall behind pretty quickly in, with no run game in the entire second half, really no run game in the first half either. They couldn't do it, and I thought the game plan overall was pretty conservative. I understand trying to protect your rookie quarterback and establish the ground game and all those things that sound good in the clinic, tape of it all, but you're playing Buffalo. You got to be aggressive. You can't just sit back and run 2nd and 8 rollouts and 2nd and 10 runs to Najee Harris against a tough Buffalo front and expect to compete. If you're going to, losing that game, I'm not mad about. You were massive underdogs going to that game. But if you're going to lose, go down swinging. Try to, shoot your shot, essentially. And Pittsburgh really did not do that in this game. So I thought overall it was a pretty conservative game plan. And then certainly Mike Tomlin's decisions to kick field goals in that game was as baffling as anything. I mean, everything in this game was bad, but especially the first one. You're down 24-3. It's a 4th and 5. It's a windy day. Special teams, they've been chaos partially due to the wind. You got muff punt or muff kickoffs and blocked field goals and all that kind of stuff. And you're trying to kick a field goal down 24-3. I just don't understand that. The second one in the second half, when it was 4th and 13, I think it was 38-3 or 31-3. Doesn't really matter, I guess. That one, I guess you could try to argue is a bit more forgivable given just the length to go, but even then they should have gone for it even after the Dan Moore false start. But certainly the first half, when it's 4th and 5, and in theory the game is still competitive, you could still try to get back into it with a couple of things going your way. Again, does that change the outcome of this game? No. Pittsburgh was going to lose no matter what Tomlin did. Kicked the field goal, went for it, whatever. But the decision, and from the guy that says we can't live in our fears, there was a lot of fear living in that game. From a guy who says Kenny Pickett's not an ordinary rookie quarterback. He's more mature. He's older, which he is. He's 24. He's more composed. He's more ready to meet the moment. And your game plan and those specific decisions were, decisions that you would act upon if you had an actual, rookie quarterback, a standard, quote-unquote, rookie quarterback of a guy that he felt like couldn't meet that moment. So it just feels very inconsistent to me what they say versus what they do, and ultimately what they do is all that matters. So no ground game. Najee Harris did not look good. No one looked really good offensively besides George Pickens making some good catches. Deontay with some drops and missed opportunities. It's been frustrating for him to watch him, and probably for him as well. And that's really the story. The first drive was decent, made some progress. I mean, it was a good start, but after they got away from their kind of scripted stuff, Buffalo just teed off. So that's really all I have to say. I mean, you can go into details about specific players and moments, but it's 38-3. They just got destroyed, and again, did not expect Pittsburgh to win this game. They were 14-point dogs for a reason. I know Buffalo had a lot of injuries in the secondary. Another reason to be more aggressive and try to make some plays downfield, but what do I know? But it just, they're a bad team. They're a bad team. It's a bad season. It's a transitional type year. And really, you just look and hope for some, building blocks for next year. Kenny Pickett's play and how he progresses is the number one thing to look for. But the play of, George Pickens and other young guys offensively, defensively, and seeing who can help you next year is where I really was shifting after last week's loss to the Jets. Certainly where I, and I imagine most other Steeler fans are shifting towards after this Bills loss. And so they'll play Tampa Bay at home against the Tom Brady-led Buccaneers next Sunday, and we'll see how that one goes. But this is a lost cause of a season. I think that's pretty clear by now. They're 1-4, and it's just not going to turn it around. Some other quick side notes, special teams. The idea of James Pierre returning kicks. I understand you're on your third string kick returner. It's a last second change that happens in warm-ups. Gunner's already inactive, so I assume that came after 11:30. You're in a tough spot there. I imagine Pierre's done some of that in practice. He did very little of that in camp. He didn't do it in college. You can't put anybody else back there. A receiver, Deontay Pickens, guys that, catch the ball routinely. I would have even been okay putting Benny Snell back there. He's the up back. He's done some of that stuff before. It's probably less foreign to him overall trying to track and judge a football than a cornerback like James Pierre. So that's a play Pierre needs to make, but I think that just coaching malpractice, one of many issues coaching-wise in this game. So I'm rambling on too much at this point for a game that doesn't deserve all this breath probably, but I should note Pat Freiermuth with the concussion. That's his third concussion he suffered in 2 years, and that's a very scary thing, and obviously it appeared that Freiermuth was knocked out cold initially after that hit in the second half. So really worried about Pat Freiermuth. He's a great player. He's come on strong this year, but to see 3 concussions in 2 years, that just, you feel for the guy personally. Even put aside professionally, just for him personally, you have a lot of concern there for him. But anyway, we'll recap this game. We'll still do our film studies and break down. I'll watch the game again for you guys and talk about specific problems. If we can both stomach it, we'll get through it. But thank you guys for watching. If you could like this video and subscribe, I would appreciate that. And we'll talk to you soon.